a survey of Japanese people aged 18 to 34 found that
Yeah,
almost 70% of unmarried men and
yeah,
60% of unmarried women are not
yeah.
in a relationship.
Yeah, I mean, wow. I mean, honestly, it's like shocking, very shocking, especially, as someone who grew up in the country, it's a bit very concerning, yeah, because, we already struggling with aging society. We need more, younger generations, more manpower.
This can be a little bit misleading because, for example,
Mm,
like the age range is like 18 to 34. This is
yeah.
very, very broad. So, like,
Yeah.
Japan is not, in my opinion, Japan is not a dating country, but it's a
Well,
marriage country. So,
you're right.
like, people in their 20s, they don't really date a lot. But
Mm,
when they are like, 30 or 30-ish, they start
yeah.
getting married.
You're right. There's a cultural pressure about like having to get married. Everyone's like, oh, by the age of 30, I should have been married. That kind of a cultural pressure, I guess.
Do you feel like you need to get married in the future?
That's a interesting question. I used to, and to answer your question, at the moment, no.
So there is this a trend that people, like fewer people getting married in Japan.
Yeah, well, it's everywhere in like developed nations, even here in Australia, UK, anywhere.
There's also this statistics concerning virgins. So
Yeah.
this article says around 42% of the men and 44.2% of the women admitted
Yeah.
they were virgins, unmarried.
Wow.
So what do you think of this number?
I mean, once again, it's very shocking and very concerning because, it's what's happening in a country where I grew up, where I still do have a connection with.
But then again, I think this is kind of like a people misunderstood these numbers because these numbers are unmarried people. So,
Ah,
so this
yeah.
does not include married people, and I think this does not include like a gay people as well, or like
Ah,
a
yeah, you're
divorced
right.
people.
Yeah, yeah
So,
I know the point you are making. The statistics is a bit twisted. As the article mentioned, like it's sort of, like the data might have been collected in a way. It can be a news or something. It's a bit, I don't know. It's not really fair, I guess.
actually, the article says like unmarried people or single people, but people who read the article, like
Yeah.
many of them misunderstood as like
Yeah.
40% of all Japanese people between 18 to 34 are
Yeah,
virgins.
yeah. Very misleading. Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah, very misleading.
There's also the age is very kind of like too broad. So if you pick
Mm,
up like a random 18 years olds and from Japan, like many of them are probably virgins. Because I
you're
think
right.
the average age, like, Japanese people lose their virginity is higher, I think, compared
Mm,
to like many Western countries. The people like who are in their early 30s, many of them are obviously married, so there are
yeah,
much, much fewer virgins.
of course. Yeah.
So I think the actual number is actually a much, much smaller percentage of virgins.
Yeah. I don't know. The other thing is, so maybe, this article or, this statistic, it can be twisted, but it still doesn't change the, decreasing the number of birth rate. We are still having a, very low birth rate. So it's still, even if this statistic, this specific one was twisted, it's still very concerning. Yeah.
Actually, the link between virginity and birth rate is
Yeah.
not very obvious. There's
Oh,
actually
yeah?
no association. For example, like
Yes.
so the page 10, 1987, there were like a more larger percentage of virgins,
All
and
right.
then like the rate steadily decreased up to like 2005.
Hmm.
Then after 2005, it started increasing,
Well, that's interesting.
but the birth rate is steadily decreasing.
Ah, I got your point. It's not
Yeah,
the two.
because like most of the time, when people have sex, it's not because
Yeah.
they want children. They just want to have sex.
Most people, yeah.
So many virgins, like many people who are virgin in their 20s, they probably,
Yeah.
most of them probably want to get married and have children. So,
Well, I know what you mean. Yeah,
yeah.
like when you're in, when you're a teenager or in the early 20, it's a time when you wanna sexually explore.
Mm.
You don't know what sex is. You wanna taste it. It's not like, as you said, you have sex for the sake of a marriage or anything. You're just curious. Yeah, the purpose of having sex might be different.
But when it comes to like a virginity, how
Yeah.
important do you think is for like Japanese people to lose their virginity? Maybe like
What? Yeah, go on. Yeah.
especially like for men.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I mean, you don't have to lose virginity. Actually, I don't want anyone to rush up just for the sake of losing virginity because it's stupid. I mean, because it should be like how should I say, more right way of thinking. It's like you feel like, the strong drive to have a connection with someone, go after it. That's it. Don't hesitate.
So let me just, so there is a very interesting survey conducted by Sagami. It's a condom company in Japan. And you can see the average age that they lose virginity, like by prefecture.
Oh, wow. Okinawa.
So
Yay.
people in Okinawa, they lose virginity faster than any other prefecture.
Well, that kind of makes sense. I don't know.
But
They
people in
are.
Ibaraki, for example, like, they tend to lose virginity pretty late.
Oh, interesting.
So
Huh.
I don't really know the reason.
I don't know. Okinawa. People go out to the beach, almost naked, you know. Why not having sex afterward? I don't know. I'm just making it. I
Yeah.
don't know.
So even within Japan, like, there's like almost like 2 years of difference, like, as,
Yeah.
yeah, in terms like when they lose virginity.
Well, definitely, things like weathers and the temperatures and these climate things, they affect the way people think, you know, as with sex as well.
So according to this very random article, the average age that they lose virginity is 17, I guess, in the United States.
I wouldn't be surprised. There are many parties going on in the States.
Mm. So how do you feel like many Western people kind of like a judge, like,
Yeah,
how Japanese people don't have sex and lose virginity too late?
yeah. Well, I'm not sure without virginity, but I think it's problematic that Japanese people, don't communicate or have sex much. That is problematic. We should communicate more. Because sex is one means of communication, in my opinion.
Mhm.
You know?
Hey guys, it's Yuta again. So we actually talked about more stuff like Sexless Japan, Japanese porn, and hentai. So if you want to watch more, be sure to like this video. And as usual, if you want to learn real Japanese that real Japanese people speak, as opposed to anime or textbook Japanese, which is quite artificial, you should click the link, choose your level, and subscribe to my list, Japanese with Yuta. Alright, see you guys soon. Ciao ciao!